Thank you for joining me today. It's Brian Gubernick, and welcome to the No Days Off podcast, where we believe that every single day brings a new opportunity to get better. Let's get into it. Today, I want to run part one of a two-part series, and we're going to be discussing reviewing our past year as here we are at the very end of 2023. We're going to review our past year, assess our performance, and then in part two, we're going to plan for our 2024. This is going to be a high-level exercise, something that I do on an annual basis, reflect on the past year as well as plan for the next. But it's meant to be a summary of sorts, a reference guide of sorts, something you could work through rather quickly, kind of assess where you stand and determine where you want to go in the next year. So let's start with our 2023 review. Here's what I would love for you to do. And I want to encourage everybody listening right now to kind of pause for a moment, pull out a piece of paper and a pen, or if you have your computer out, just work off a Word document or something like that. And I would love for you to work through this exercise with me. Okay? Here's what we're going to do. We are going to compartmentalize your life into a number of different accounts or priorities. And then I'm going to ask you to assess your performance in each one of these respective areas. So as I work through this, you'll follow along. You'll understand what I'm saying. So account number one, the account that I believe should be priority for all of us, because without this account humming at a decent level, well, we can't impact all the other accounts we're going to discuss. Account number one is health. Health. So I want you to think about your health over the past year. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I am absolutely the healthiest version of me. I'm the healthiest I've even ever been. That would be a 10. 1 being the opposite of that. Rank yourself how you believe you are with respect to your health over the past year. Now, one caveat, you cannot use a 7. So scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate your health? Can't use a 7. Now that you've done that, here's a question I'd like you to answer for the health account. What have you accomplished in health over the past year that makes you proudest? What have you accomplished in your health over the past year that makes you proudest? So what accomplishment are you most proud of as it pertains to your health? So you've rated your health on a scale of 1 to 10, not using a 7, and you're now going to document, of all the things you maybe have done health-wise, which one are you most proud of? Now, the next account we're going to go to, there's some sub-accounts here. So, and your sub-accounts are going to vary. Everybody is a little bit different. But we're going to talk about your key family relationships. So first, your spouse or your significant other, your partner. Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I have the most amazing relationship I've ever had or could imagine with my significant other, if I have one. And 1 being it's a terrible relationship. Can't use a 7. Where would you rate yourself? Now, with respect to that relationship, what have you accomplished in this relationship over the past year that makes you proudest? What are you most proud of in terms of that relationship? Now, I want you to repeat this process for your kids, if in fact you have them. Maybe individual kids. So list your kid's name and scale of 1 to 10. Where's your relationship with that kid? As well as what are you most proud of with that, in terms of experience with that kid? Maybe it's your parents in terms of key family relationships. You might want to add them in as a sub-account. Maybe it's your siblings. So these are key family relationships. Again, we're all different, and your sub-accounts are going to look different. Next account, wealth. Your wealth on a scale of 1 to 10. Can't use a 7. Where do you rate your wealth now that we're at the conclusion of the year? Where would you rate your wealth? 10 being I am, at the exact wealth I'd love to be, or even beyond that. 1 being I'm the opposite of that. So 10 being I'm beyond my wildest dreams. 1 being the opposite of that. Can't use a 7. Now, with respect to your wealth, what have you accomplished in this area that makes you most proud over the past year? What are you most proud of as it pertains to your wealth building? Now, I want you to continue this process for the following accounts, okay? So we've done health, we've done key relationships that all have sub-accounts. We just did wealth. Now I want you to do this for job/career. Rate it and ask yourself that question. And then from here, right, those are really the big 4 areas. From here, it's really up to you which of these accounts you grade, if they're in fact important to you. Your social circle, friends, let's say, or social experiences. Your spirituality, if that's in fact important to you, 1 to 10, can't use a 7, and of course ask yourself that question again. Recreation/hobbies is a great account for some of us. Personal growth and or self-development. Experiences/travel. So these are a few accounts that I add in my annual review. Again, it's social circle, spirituality, recreation/hobbies, personal growth/self-development, and experiences/travel. These are accounts for me that I'll rank 1 to 10. And I will also ask myself the question of these, in these respective areas, what am I most proud of that I've accomplished over the past year in that area? Now, this is just your assessment of your past year. As you noticed, that ranking, your ranking may be high, it may be low, it's irrelevant. All I did, though, was ask you what you're most proud of in these areas. I'm not reflecting necessarily on where you can make improvements or where you screwed up. That'll come into play tomorrow as we get into part 2. But for today, I just want you to reflect. Keep this piece of paper or the Word doc. Keep it open because tomorrow we're going to get into part 2. And in part 2, we're going to plan for 2024 using these same accounts. That's all I have for you today. The No Days Off podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, every single day brings a new opportunity to get better. So let's get after it.